I'm back with another video. The boy got the Kango hat on. You know he about to cook. What's up, fellas? Welcome back to another video. Gentlemen, I think it's important to, preface this video by saying this. When we think about, high status and things of that nature, a lot of you guys are probably thinking about a man that has a lot of resources that can provide a certain type of life, that has a certain type of lifestyle. You're probably thinking about it economically. And, one would assume that. However, on this channel, we've spoken about a lot of topics, and I always talk to you guys about being a well-rounded, multifaceted Renaissance man that encompasses all of the qualities of a man that is living a life that is fulfilling, correct? That being said, we can observe, as I've said before in other videos, men who have achieved a lot, but they're crushing it in one area, but in other areas they fumble the bag, and so that leads to them getting embarrassed publicly, their name and brand and legacy tarnished, things of that nature, issues with women, all types of things. And so it's important to note that high status is not just about money. High status is a way of life. It's a mentality, right? One could say it's a certain creed, right? It's a certain belief that you have in yourself, how you conduct yourself, right, with integrity, things of that nature. And so I had to say that before starting this video because some of you guys might just think that it's about money. And I want to make eminently clear that money is just one aspect of your life. In fact, I would argue that some people are so poor that all they have is money. And we see these with these, kids or second generation people who are born into wealthy families who didn't have to earn the resources, who didn't have to go through that heroic journey to earn that, right? They end up in all types of nefarious activities, indulging in drugs and over-seeking pleasure, falling into mental disparity, depression, or what have you, right? We can observe this all throughout, the public eye. We can observe this throughout history. That being said, gentlemen, in this video, we're going to talk about 7 things that indicate that you are a low status man and 7 things ultimately that low status men do. That being said, let's begin with the video. Number 1, sagging your pants. You see, it's amazing how many grown men I see still sagging their pants. Now look, I come from the inner city. I grew up in the hood. At one point, when I was a juvenile, I was sagging my pants. That was just a style. Let's keep it a buck here. We know that hip-hop, American black culture, influences the world. Let's not act like it doesn't. I've lived all over the world, okay? And I'm going to keep on repeating these things, guys, not for you guys, the community that's already here, but rather the new viewers that are coming into this community. I have to repeat certain things because this might be somebody's first time interacting with my content. So I ask you guys to bear with me as I have to keep on saying these things. I'm directing it towards the new audience that's coming in. And so when I say these things, I know what I'm talking about. African American culture influences the entire world, okay? And so you'll observe people sagging their pants in Italy, when I was in Italy, when I was in Norway, when I was in Iceland, when I was in Peru. You can go to Bolivia, all throughout the African continent, especially in Asia, right? You can observe people sagging their pants. This sagging of the pants comes from jail culture, prison culture, right? A man would sag his pants to present himself as available for intercourse to other men, all right? And so a lot of people don't even know why they're doing certain things when they partake in certain rituals or culture. Sagging your pants shows that you have no class, that you have no etiquette, that you have no self-respect. And on a root level, right, because the etymology of it is you like to get penetrated as a man, to put it frank, right? And so it's not a good look, okay? Grown men walking around sagging their pants, young teenagers walking around sagging their pants. This is a sign of low status. It's a sign of, poor education, right? You don't have any class. We've spoken about how important it is to always present yourself in the best light as a man. After all, you never know who you could run into, somebody that can change your life, somebody that can put you in position to rub elbows with somebody that can elevate you in your career, right? Ultimately increasing your status, right? Your social group and networking. How do you think somebody that you, would aspire to connect with, somebody that's in a high position, would perceive you if you're walking around and your boxers are showing and you're sagging your pants? That's not a good look. We are grown men. I know some of you watching me are 18, right? I consult some of you younger guys who are, 17, 18, 19, 20, right? And so a lot of you are heavily influenced by, hip hop and things of that nature. I understand. I love hip hop, right? I love rap. I listen to rap damn near every single day. However, I'm able to disassociate the art with my actual life. I can enjoy a piece of art as entertainment and go through that story and listen to it while I'm at the gym or whatnot and still live my actual life. And I think this is where a lot of people struggle. You'll see these kids actually following word for word what these rappers are doing and saying in their music, not understanding that you live your own life. So when you go out into the world and you're presenting yourself in a manner that is low status and subpar by opening your buttocks to the world, it's not a good look. And if you are a African man, right, an African American, a black man, right, you're perpetuating a stereotype that has been over us for how long now? So that, that's a whole nother topic. Moving into number 2. The second thing that only low status men do is give away their time too freely. You see, a high status man, a man that has a lot of things going for himself, values his time because he understands that time is the only asset, the only thing that we cannot get back. Time is everything. So it is imperative that you guard your time and that you delegate your time to things that are actually going to advance you, things that are of value to you. So whenever you see a man that's always able to just go out and do this and give his time freely and doing all this stuff, that's normally an indication of a low status man. A man that doesn't have a lot of things going for himself, a man that's not working on himself, building himself up, a man that's not, socially thriving, that doesn't have, partners and things that's going on in his life, all right? So anytime that you see somebody that can just always be at the club, always be at the pub, at the bars, just sitting around. Yesterday, for example, and I told you guys this, I like to people watch. I'm always observing people and observing the different nuances in body language and like social interactions. I'm a real psychology, freak, you know what I mean? So I was driving yesterday and I was in the hood, right? I was driving through this hood and I can always tell, you can tell when you go from like a wealthy class area to middle class to you in the hood. When you get to the hood, it's like, I feel it. The streets start getting more broken. You start seeing the pawn shops, the liquor stores, you feel me? You start seeing, you know what I mean? The cash order places, the Amscot or whatever. You start seeing the church's chicken and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know when you in the hood, right? And so I'm at this red light and it's a whole bunch of things going on. You feel me? You got the fiends on the corner, you know what I'm saying, doing their little dance. Or they still like this, leaning over. Not to make fun of them, but you gotta understand, like, I grew up around fiends. A couple of my uncles were fiends. So it's like, you know what I mean? I know when somebody's on it, bro. Like, I've seen it my whole life. And so I'm at this light and I'm just looking at this guy. He's just like sitting on the sidewalk. This guy's not a fiend. He's just sitting on the sidewalk like this, slouched over, just looking. And I'm like, damn, this gentleman doesn't have anything to do with his time to just sit around. I don't want to be around any place that a man just has all the free time in the world to just sit around. Because that's when a man typically finds himself in trouble. When you have that much idle time and no purpose and nothing to do, that's when you find yourself in trouble. Okay, so these are like clear indications of a low status man, is when you just have so much time. Like, don't you have a job? Don't you have goals? Don't you have people to help and serve, right? So this is a clear sign of low status. Number 3, and you guys, here we go. Number 3. Chasing women, right? Chasing women, validating women, always, going on the hunt. You see, when I was in my teens, in my early 20s, right? I was just, man, girls, like that's the only thing that was on my head was girls and basketball, right? That's why I commend these younger guys these days who are like 22, 23, who are like on their shit about their business and everything like that. I really do, because at 23, I was a kid mentally. Up top, I was like a little baby, man. All I cared about was girls and ball. And so another sign of low status is that you're just chasing women. You're always going after girls. You're always trying to increase the notch count, right, on your belt and just go after so many women and just, it's pointless. It's pointless. If you're always chasing women, you're not chasing success. You're not chasing that bag. You're not focused on your mission, right? You're not focused on spearheading towards your goals, right? If you have all the time in the world to chase women, you're not really getting to it. And this is a pure and clear indication that you are low status. You see, only a low status man has all the time in the world to pursue women. Now, gentlemen, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with pursuing the woman that you want, right? If you have a prospect that you're interested in, okay, walk up to her like a gentleman, introduce yourself. How you doing? My name is, so-and-so, and I saw you, and right? What so have you? You can, present yourself to her. Nothing wrong with that, right? I approach women sometimes, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you're trying to go after every single girl, you're late to places because you got to go just stop and talk to this girl and go stop and talk to that girl and then go DM this girl, and you're following a whole bunch of girls on IG, and you're doing too much. You're doing too much. That's a pure indication of a low status man. Number 4, poor hygiene. We've spoken about this, gentlemen. You've got to get your hygiene under control. I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and man, I had to cut the conversation short. He smelled so bad. I think this is the worst smelling guy I've ever smelled in my life. Young brother. He had to have been 25. But he smelled so bad. I'm like, how do you smell so bad? How do you smell so bad? Guys, you have to shower I feel like I'm talking to kids here. I shouldn't have to tell you guys this. Your mom or dad should have told you this. But I've got to tell you guys this, even in consultation calls. It's mind-boggling. You have to shower. You have to brush your teeth 3 times a day. Floss, get the food out of your teeth, out of your gums. Scrape your tongue. Hello? Scrape your tongue and brush your teeth, guys. Take a shower, present yourself well. Put on some cream so your skin isn't flaking up. I used to suffer with dry skin as well too, right? Put on some cream, get yourself hydrated. For real, man. Get yourself hydrated, man. So, guys, when you have poor hygiene, people are not going to take you seriously, okay? You're more than likely not going to get that deal, okay? You're not going to get the girl that you want. People are not going to respect you. In fact, people are not even going to want to be around you because you stink. How can you walk outside the house as a grown man and you have crust in your eyes, crust in your mouth, your teeth are full of plaque, your breath stink, your tongue is white? Are you not ashamed? My God. So guys, poor hygiene is a sure sign of low status, okay? It could present it to be you don't have any money, right? 2, you don't care about yourself enough to take care of your hygiene, so you don't have any self-respect. And I assure you, people are not going to want to get in business or hire somebody who does not have self-respect. Because if you don't respect yourself, how are you going to respect the company that you work for? How are you going to respect your business partners, right? Any man that doesn't care about himself enough to take care of his hygiene is not a serious man. And so society won't take you seriously. And so this is a indication of low status. Y'all got to get it together, fellas. Number 5, the 5th thing that low status men do is that they are overly emotional. Now, there's times myself when I speak in a rather fervent, zealous manner, especially when I'm in a mental state that is quite passionate. And so one thing that's important to distinguish, right, is that there's a difference between when I am speaking to you guys and I'm going through different stories and different scenarios on how to get better and how to improve, right? There's a difference between that and when I am in an interpersonal interaction. You see, I'll conduct myself in a quite zealous manner to really get across certain points, right? This is the art of orating, right? Using certain tonality and cadences so that I can really drive home the message to you guys, or when I'm articulating something to a small group or on a consultation call, right? As opposed to on the regular, when I'm speaking to somebody, right, I'm not overly emotional to the sense where I'm allowing outside stimuli to dictate how I feel internally and cause me to move. Outside stimuli doesn't cause me to move, right? So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying overly emotional. A man that's so reactive to everything, right? You're in the car driving. I know a lot of you guys can, attest to this. You're in the car driving, somebody cuts you off and you're, oh, yeah, fuck you, bitch, and you're overly emotional. I'm to the point now where I know people are idiots. Somebody's driving, right, and cuts me off and doesn't use the signal. I'm like, all right. Because I know people can't drive, right? Or they're not competent, right? A lot of people. So I'm just a defensive driver. I'm proactive in life, right? I'm proactive and I don't allow outside stimuli to, get me riled up. Does that mean that we're perfect? No, obviously certain things are going to happen where you are angry, right? And rightfully so. A lot of times you have the right to be angry. But it's important that we think about our problems and the trivialities of life and think about, is this going to affect me a year from now? In 5 years from now, is this thing that I'm aggrandizing to be huge, is it really going to matter? You see, it's important, guys, that we never aggrandize the little things in life. That's so important because when you allow the little things to get you all riled up, it shows that you have low status. It shows that you're not in control internally. Also, this is a turn off to women. All right? Women love a man that has the ability to handle outside stress and stimuli but still be at peace internally. Because a woman herself is going to come to you as the leader with her problems, right? And with her chaos. And she has to know that you can be that rock, that her waves of emotions can crack into and stay sturdy. Number 6, the sixth thing that low status men do, or do not do perhaps, is they have a hard time holding eye contact. Gentlemen, we've spoken about this before quite a few times. You see, I'm not telling you guys to just hold eye contact like this all day with with random people, but a confident man, a high status man, if you will, has the ability to, one, convey his message to people while looking at them directly in the eye, because a man should always be direct, right? And say what he has to say, get across what he has to get across, or be able to look at that beautiful woman like this in her eye, right? Now, I'm not saying to always look, but you can have the ability to look her in the eye. You see, when you're talking to somebody and you're cowering away and you're never looking, it shows that you're not confident, right? And so as it's shown to somebody that you're not confident, they're already, building this preconceived idea in their mind that you're lower status. And so it's important to understand the power and the efficacy of eye contact. Eye contact is one of the most important things for communication, guys. And I strongly urge that you learn how to use it effectively, okay, when you're communicating to people, as I am to you gentlemen right now, all right? So a sure sign that somebody is low status is if they struggle with if they struggle with looking at you in the eye, all right? And number 7, guys, okay? The 7th thing that low status men do is they seek validation from outside of themselves, okay? You see, only women seek validation from outside of themselves. The world has to tell a woman that she's beautiful, right? And that's how typically a woman starts to build up her confidence is through her beauty. Whereas a man, our journey is different. A man has to earn his stripes. A man has to build himself up and become competent. And through that competency, he develops confidence, right? And so that being said, if you are a man who is seeking validation outside of yourself and you need people to tell you that you're great, which there's nothing wrong with people telling you that you're great, and that can boost your confidence, right? I myself, as an athlete, I remember whenever I was in practice and I was doing something good and my coach would say, yeah, Dud, that would boost my confidence. However, your confidence as a man has to come from knowing who you are. And spending that time with yourself and going through the hardships of life and building yourself up and building up your self-confidence is ultimately what's going to make you high status mentally. You see, when we're talking about high status here, guys, yes, the money is one aspect of it, right? Obviously. However, you need to become fortified psychologically, mentally, spiritually, right? Because some people, And I've said this before, some people are so poor that all they have is money. Okay? And so it's important, guys, that you always maintain your self-confidence because of who you are. It doesn't matter what's going on in the outside world. When you look yourself in that mirror, you got to be able to say, I love you. I love who you are. I love who you're becoming. And I love the younger version of yourself that perhaps was abused and that was damaged. And it's okay. And we got each other. I got you, Dudley. I got you, Jonathan. I got you, Timothy. I got you, Stephen, Mark, James, Will, whatever your name is. You got to be able to tell yourself that I got you. We got us. You see, I have self-dialogue with myself every day. I talk to myself. I'm talking to myself right now, technically. The only difference is I'm going to upload it to, my channel, and you guys are going to see it. But technically, I'm talking to myself. I mean, if somebody were to come here and see, I'm talking to an inanimate object, right? So you've got to be able to talk to yourself in a way that builds your self-confidence up and builds yourself up. That's high status. When you know yourself, you're sure of yourself, you're confident of yourself, regardless of, what is outside of you, regardless of if you have that beautiful woman, and I mean, she got the big old, regardless of if you got the beautiful woman beside you, or she's not beside you and she leaves, you're confident whether she's here or she's not here. And that type of confidence is magnetic. That type of confidence is why the beautiful woman is going to want to be beside you in the first place, because she sees that you're a whole man, you're a made man, you're confident, you're congruent, and you know yourself. A low status man is going to need the validation from his girlfriend. Is it okay if are you sure? I'm sorry, I didn't, bitch ass. I'm trying not to curse so much, guys. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to curse so much. But ultimately, a man that's always seeking validation outside of himself is a low status man. So gentlemen, this was the video. These are 7 things that low status men do or exude. I will see y'all in the next one.
I used to work the day away. I figured I could maybe pave a way. No excuses to count the days till I fade away. But I always find my way to turn a bad look in the field to something solid. I'm on target for a major play. Used to waste the day away. She hit me to say I'm on her mind, but my commitment to the game got me OT till I OD and then I fade away. Lately I've been giving down tones.